frustrating in New York is we just moved the standard, the huge numbers of kids failed. They're going to do exactly what has failed this year. There's nothing different. There's no plan to do anything different than what didn't work last year when the standards weren't even that high. That doesn't make any sense. I'm like, what happened to our creativity? What happened to us getting together and coming up with a new plan? Whenever I'm faced with this issue, I remember how my whole life was changed because one person thought outside the box and helped me. I was an undergraduate. I went to Bowdoin College, up small private school in Maine. It was a pretty good school, and I didn't have a great high school education. And I got there, and the upper class folks said, "What's your major?" I said, "Psychology." They said, "How's your math?" I said, "I don't really do that math thing. I mean, like social science kind of, you know." They said, "Well, you have to have statistics." And there are a lot of people in a different major because of statistics. And so, freshman year, I didn't take statistics, but sophomore year, I had to declare the major. I had to take it. So first semester, sophomore year, I took statistics. With our first test coming up, I was up all week. I stayed up all night studying. I took the test. A week later, I got the results. I got a 37. I was devastated. I hadn't failed anything since the second grade. Wait a second, this was a real 37. This thing wasn't marked on a curve. This was the real record. And I was in tears, and I was going to drop the class, and then finally something said, "Go talk to the professor." So I went to the professor. I said, "Look, I studied all week. I was up all night. I want to be a psych major. I want to help people. I don't know what happened." He said, "Jeff, calm down. I know what happened." I said, "You do what?" He said, "It was the slant." I said, "What do you mean it was a slant?" He said, "Well, you're going to get this. All of our textbooks have real authors. These are real people with their own biases. Their biases come through their writing. This author has a particularly strong bias. It's working for the other kids. It's not working for you. I want to get you a textbook written by an author with an opposite bias to see if it works." He said, "A little experiment. Let's just try it. Read the ninth chapter in the old book. Do the questions. See what happens." I read the chapter, did the questions. I didn't get it. So I want you to read that same chapter in the new book. See what happens. I read the chapter, did the question. I got it. I said, "Oh, look, I understood that." He said, "Well, look, we have finals coming up. 3 chapters left. Read them in the old book. Do the questions. See if you get it." Read the chapters, did the questions. I didn't get it. So I want you to read those same exact 3 chapters in the new book. Do the questions, see if you get it. Read the chapters, did the questions, did it, got it. Took the exam, got an A on the exam, I passed the class. Well, the next semester, I was in a perception class when it suddenly hit me. I said, "You know what? That didn't have anything to do with a slant. This guy got me to read 2 books." And it wasn't until I educated myself that I understood the genius of this man, right? You hear a guy in front of you who had tried hard but failed miserably. What do you do when someone really tries? You know, most anybody else would say, "Oh, Geoffrey, you have to try hard." But my ego was so crushed, I didn't think I could try harder. This ability to think outside the box, to constantly challenge ourselves, to come up with solutions, to not be a slave to whatever we've done before, but to take some risk. To take some risk, knowing some of this stuff is not going to work, but that's okay. So it doesn't work, it's not the end of the world. But this ability, I think, to unleash and unharness our creativity so we can solve some of these problems, this is really important stuff. It's going to take our best, it's going to take our brightest, it's going to take us doing some things that maybe seem controversial, but we've got to be able to think outside the box to save our children. So let me close. I mean, I'm thrilled to close with a poem. These young folks did one of my poems, so now I'm going to have two poems today. Let me close with this poem, and let me really dedicate this to those of you here who are working on this new project to save the most vulnerable children in Seattle. And the name of the poem is "Don't Blame Me." The girl's mother said, "Don't blame me. Her father left when she was 3. I know she don't know her ABCs, her 1, 2, 3s. But I am poor and work hard, you see. You know the story. It's don't blame me." The teacher shook her head and said, "Don't blame me. I know it's sad. He's 10, but if the truth be told, he reads like he was 6 years old. And math, don't ask. It's sad, you see. Wish I could do more, but it's after 3. Blame the mom, blame society, blame the system. Just don't blame me. The judge was angry, his expression cold. He scowled and said, son, you've been told. Break the law again and you'll do time. You've robbed with a gun. Have you lost your mind? The young man opened his mouth to beg. Save your breath, he heard instead. Your daddy left when you were 2. Your mama didn't take care of you. Your school prepared you for this fall. Can't read, can't write, can't spell it all. But you did the crime for all to see. You're going to jail, son. Don't blame me. If there is a God or a person supreme, a final reckoning for the kind and the mean, and judgment is rendered on who passed the buck, who blamed the victim, who proudly stood up. You'll say to the world, while I couldn't save all, I did not let these children fall. By the thousands I helped all I could see. No excuses. I took full responsibility. No matter if they were black or white, were cursed, ignored, were wrong or right, were shunned, prejudged, were short or tall, I did my best to save them all. And I will bear witness for eternity that you can stay proudly. Don't blame me. Thank you very much.